This mutation is called Warp Zone and it is played on lock and load. We have 3 mutators active. We have Twister, we have Temporal Field, and we have Time Warp. Fairly straightforward set of mutators. They're all environmental mutators, which makes them a little bit easy. And let's have a look to see if the mastery thing is working. It does not, so let us see if we can figure out what we have. We have the mastery. We have 30 points into the Griffin Airstrike. Cost reduction mastery. This is going to be a little bit difficult to tell what we have here. We'll see if Nova has, but it's probably going to be the primary ability improvement mastery, and we'll probably also have the Nova energy regeneration mastery. Nova playing P2 Nova, which is a tactical dispatcher. Why P1? Why not P1? Why not P0? Because I have no idea. And one thing to also note is, like, if you're wondering why I'm casting a Nova game for this mutation, I actually did not really receive any meme runs. I was expecting some really spicy memes for this mutation, because it is a very easy one, but unfortunately no particular submissions, so I'm just gonna cast a Nova game. I don't know if I've ever casted a P2 Nova game. I might have casted one before, but there we go. So yeah, fairly straightforward mutation this week. Very easy. This should be within reach of pretty much any co-op player. That you can probably even do this mutation with level 1 commanders, to be honest. Like, you do not need masteries. The game is pretty much going to be playing very much like a regular brutal difficulty game. So have fun, pick whichever commanders you want to play, and I think it's very doable. Obviously certain commanders will be a little bit more favored than other commanders, but it should not be too bad. As commanders that are particularly favored on this mutation are going to be commanders that have hero units. So Garrigan, Nova, Zeratul, even commanders like Alarak, even though their hero units are not as great and as independent, you can say. You know, they're able to solo by themselves. Even commanders like Alarak will be fine, but yeah, pretty much any commander will work. Stukov might struggle a little bit. I think probably maybe Vorazun might not be too great here, unless you want to have a little bit of extra fun and cast time stop at the start of the game, but I would not advise that. But let's see what happens here. So we are at the 4-minute mark. Nova is already out and ready to go, and the first attack wave has spawned as well. And this is going to be very much it's going to be very standard play here. I'm not really sure why there is a set of Marines over here going to try and clear. You're probably not going to need to clear your expansion here in Nova. Now, one thing to note about Nova is that she does have a very fast clear on this map. I think her clear time is something like 7 or 8 minutes. You're able to clear this mission, and especially with environmental mutators, which don't really affect you very much, you are basically okay. So Nova getting moved out of the way there, using the blink as well to get out of the way, and I think this might actually end up getting hit here, but the Raven does end up getting sniped, and these Marauders now are going to be capping this lock. Remember, this is in solo mode as well, which gives you the advantage that you do not need an ally to help you camp. So this is an arcade map that is being played. But Nova is ready here, and there's going to be maybe a very nice Griffin Airstrike to basically clear this whole entire thing out. Usually what I do is I take a Griffin Airstrike and just set it right across here. And this basically wipes out all the bunkers, the siege tanks, and all the air units as well. So that is generally how I tend to do it. Raven, the Raven is a little bit annoying. You are dealing with Terran compositions, but again, like I said, this mission is fairly straightforward. And as you can see here, the environmental mutators aren't really doing very much. Like, yeah, there's a Twister, yeah, there's a Time Warp, but it's not really anything to take note of. Now, one thing to note is that if you are actually playing Nova on this mutation, and if you are playing P3 Nova, this is the Nova where you have the perma super cloak, but you do not have access to the shotgun mode. If you have that prestige and you walk into a temporal field, which is in itself is going to be really difficult to try and show you. This is a time warp. There's a temporal field, which are those little cylinder things there for people who are not aware. But if you are playing P3 Nova and you do walk into a temporal field, you will lose your super cloak while you are in that temporal field. So just do bear that in mind if you are going to be playing P3 Nova. Nova's going to be jumping in here, using the blinks as well. Does end up sniping out a few of these things, using the shotgun mode as well to take advantage of that. Griffin airstrikes unfortunately not being utilized as much because, as I said, P2 probably one of Nova's worst prestiges. Like, it gives you a lot of the mobility, but it doesn't really like it takes away one of the most powerful abilities in the game, which is the Griffin airstrike. And this is actually one of the reasons why I am not a fan of P2 Nova at all. It's like it does have its uses once in a while, but for a mutation like this, and especially if you're trying to all clear or if you're trying to fast clear this mission, it's usually better to go for one of the other prestiges where you do have your Griffin airstrike available as you wish and on demand. There's a Viking over here as well. I think this may end up getting sniped out. Where is Nova going? Okay, so this is going to end up getting capped out. Next attack wave is coming up. This will be moving towards the central lock, and Nova's already in position, so she will be able to take this out without any problems whatsoever. Enemy composition is Raiding Party, which is the original Bioterran that was there before Blizzard added the other attack wave compositions in the game. So pretty simple composition to deal with. Defensive drone being dropped as well to give Nova a little bit of shield to deal with these hybrid destroyers, but there is going to be a hybrid dominator that is here, which Nova will have to deal with, which is also actually kind of difficult because that actually tends to be able to one-shot Nova if you're not paying attention, if you're not microing properly. You can blink and avoid that, and you can blink and use that shield to soak up the damage from that dominator, but you do end up with a very little amount of HP though from that. So that is being done so far and good to go. So now Nova is going to start pushing in again. There's going to be a Griffin airstrike being used here after all the battle cruisers and all these fat units have been drawn out. So very good use of the airstrike there. And there is nuke also available for Nova, so she might be. There we go. So there we go. That nuke is going to be dropping right now. That'll take out a lot of the stuff here. Hybrid is very upset with Nova. There is a defensive drone here, but Nova may want... Okay, Hybrid Dominator just canceled its spell cast. It will start to attack again, and now Nova is probably going to get obliterated like that. So that is the one thing I was talking about. It's very, very annoying when you have a hybrid that's able to one-shot you. So the way you tend to avoid that is you switch over to this mode, the assault mode, and you blink. And the shield that this thing gives you, especially if you have a defensive drone to help you out as well, will mean that you will not get one-shot by the hybrid. So that is how you can avoid that annoying ability by the hybrid dominator. I don't know how much damage it does. I think it's like... I think it's like 750 damage or something. It's like it is a very, very strong ability that you... I can't remember how much damage it does. It's less than that. It's like 500 damage I think it deals. Can't remember how much. Check out Starcraft.coop.com's enemy AI page. It does tell you how much. I just cannot remember off the top of my head. All I know is that it hurts very, very much. So you can use Nova's Blink to avoid taking that damage, or at least prevent you from getting one shot. But there's a random bunker over here. Nova's not even going to bother clearing that bunker because who cares about the bunker? Nova's going to blink in now and just one shot the rest of these units here. That one Marauder, poor Marauder, has already been hit by the secret missile, and he is sitting at about 58 HP right now, and that Raven is going to be a little bit more annoying, and there is nothing to deal with that. That Raven will eventually also regenerate its energy, and it will be casting its next ability here. Another airstrike being utilized here now, and that airstrike will take out, at least weaken some of these hybrids. Now the Hollow Decoy is being utilized as well, and Nova is going to start sniping the rest of it. Hollow Decoy does deal good amounts of damage as well. Like you can see the Hollow Decoy just going to town. It is able to soak up a lot of the damage, but the goal here is just try and cap this lock. And these hybrids now will all move towards the lock because Nova is trying to activate. Remember that there was a change to the AI a very long time ago. There used to be a very nice cheese with Raynor and Artanis. They were able to clear lock and load. If you were an average player, you could clear lock and load in about 4 minutes or something like that. Like, you didn't even have to be a speedrunner to clear it in that kind of time. And one of the ways that they were doing this is they were able to drop and cap the locks behind enemy forces. So they would drop, say, a Marine over here and warp in a Zealot. They'd be able to cap the lock, and the AI would not move towards the lock, and would fix that by... Now, if you start to try and cap the lock, the AI will try and stop you from doing that. So that's how they fixed it. Clever fix. Unfortunately, took out the fun of rushing lock and load. But yeah, fairly straightforward mutation. As I said, there we go. P2 Nova. Those are all the locks captured. And that is GG.